Hello and welcome to another video from Mini-ITX Gaming.com. This particular video is not about a gaming system or a gaming computer. It's more about a server board. It's a Mini-ITX board, so being a Mini-ITX Gaming.com, we have to go ahead and do a review on a Mini-ITX board because it definitely deserves a review. It's a very special board. The manufacturer has packed quite a bit into this board, and I'm very excited to do this review. I got the motherboard a little while ago, but I didn't have the time to do the review, so now I have the time and I'm going to go ahead and do it. So the way, or as you have seen my other videos, the format, the way it works is we'll give you a quick overview of the board, tell you, on the specs, the bells and whistles that the board has, and then after that we'll give you the pros and cons, and then at the end I'll give you my 2 cents on what I think about the board, what the manufacturer could have done better. So let's get to it. I'll bring in the camera a little bit closer. Of course, I don't have a dedicated cameraman, so I'll have to do it myself. You'll see me walk up there. We'll bring the camera a little bit closer so you can get a closer look at bird's eye view of the board, and then we'll go over it, and the camera will be readjusted in the middle of the video, so you can see my beautiful face, and we'll continue talking. Thank you and have a good day. No, sorry, still wait for the video. Okay, there's the beauty. So let's get to it. Now this surface is static free, so don't tell me why you're touching the motherboard like that, because the surface is static free, so nothing will happen to the board. And even if it does, it's my board. Why the fuck do you care? Anyway, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Just trolls. Alrighty, so let's get going. Here's the board. Now this particular board is Asrock, manufacturer's Asrock. Model number is C2750D4I. It is a kick-ass board. It has a 8-core CPU, tons and tons of SATA ports, tons and tons of memory ports, memory slots. So let's dig in. First of all, we'll take a look at the CPU. The CPU is Intel Atom or Intel Avaton C2750. It is a 2.40 gigahertz 8-core CPU. Yes, sir, you heard it right. It is an 8-core CPU, and it is 2.4 gigahertz. Turbos up to 2.66, I believe, or something like that. But it is 2.4 gigahertz. It turbos up to 2.66, something like that. So that's the CPU, 8-core CPU and a Mini-ITX onboard, unheard of. And then it has 4 memory card slots, memory stick slots. I keep saying memory card slots. So it has 4 memory stick slots. They support DDR3 up to, wait for it, 64 gigs of RAM in a Mini-ITX Mini-ITX board. So very kick-ass. 4 slots, 64 gigs. Whew, a lot of RAM. And then let's move on. It has 12 SATA ports, unheard of in a Mini-ITX board until Asus brought theirs out, but we'll go over that later. So it has 12 SATA ports, as you can see. It has a PCI Express X8 port right here. It will support X16 cards. So if you have an X16 graphics card, something like that, you want to plug in, it will run an X8, but it will support it. There's a Breakout right here, so that's how it supports it. You can plug it in. You will not get the full speed, but whatever the board supports, it will support that, but it will get in and it will work. All right. What else? And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fan connectors. One for the CPU. Well, it doesn't come with a fan. It's what you call it? It's I'm losing my thought. It's a passively cooled CPU, but they do run a little bit hot sometimes. So you can definitely plug in a fan and put it on here, and voila, that's cool. If you want it cool, if you want it quiet, no fans, you can just plug it in. You're ready to go. But since it is an 8-core CPU, it will get hot. Uh, in my testing, it was getting hot to touch, so I couldn't touch it. It was getting that hot. So definitely, you need a CPU fan or a passive fan that will, just a case fan. Tons of case fans that will blow air through, good airflow. That's what I mean, to keep the CPU cool. All right. So now moving on. In the back, it has a video port. It's a shitty video port, but is there? A VGA port. It's an onboard graphics card. I believe it's 16 megs. Then a serial port, two USB ports, IPMI, I believe it's called. It's a remote control type of deal that you can remotely control it via Ethernet. So it has that port, and then 2 gigabit ports. Are we missing anything? No, we're not. Okay, now the pros of this board. First of all, an 8-core CPU, Mini-ITX format, very, very good for a web server or even a file server, a workstation, a basic workstation. Very good. Lots of horsepower underneath here. Very power efficient. It does generate a bit of heat, but still very power efficient, very powerful. 2.4 gigahertz, 8 cores. So the CPU is a plus. It's absolutely amazing. Another plus is the four memory stick slots. They're not SODIMM, they're full desktop RAM. So in a Mini-ITX format, 4 slots with 64 gigs of RAM is unheard of. So that's another plus. It supports ECC, like we have here, 16 gigs. Well, actually 32 gigs, but we haven't installed the other 16 yet. So it supports ECC and non-ECC RAM. Very, very good. In order to get 64 gigs of RAM capacity on here, you'll have to install 16 gig slots. I believe ECC RAM, they have the 16 gig slots. 60 gig sticks. But in the non-ECC, they don't. I haven't seen any. If they do, it's probably very expensive. Most of us probably won't put more than 8 gigs in there. If you're using it for like database, or if you're using it for like an e-commerce site, if you want a basic e-commerce site, then definitely go with 64 gigs. The more memory you have, the faster your website will run, the happier your customers will be. But if you're using file storage, 16 gigs is more than enough. You can get two 16 gig slots. Two 8 gig sticks. I keep saying sticks. So you can get 16 gigs in here. That should be more than enough for any kind of file server. If you want 32, you can. There's more than enough space that you can do that, but I wouldn't do it for a storage server. For a web server, then definitely put more memory, because the more memory you have, the better it is. Database and stuff like that, if you're running off of this, then put more memory in there. You won't be sad. Okay. Oh, you won't be disappointed. Alrighty. Now it does have 12 SATA ports. Very, very good. expandability as far as PCI Express lane here goes. So it has a PCI Express slot. Very good. Lots of fan headers to keep it nice and cool. Um, Front USB headers. So pretty much top-notch board. Top-notch board, but it does have a few flaws. So we are gonna go over that. First of all of these ports are not SATA 6GB. Most boards come with SATA 6. Pretty much all of them are SATA 6. Nobody uses SATA 3 anymore. But Asrock has decided to put SATA 3 in here. These four right here are SATA 3. 3 GB per second, sorry. SATA 2, I guess. And then these are SATA 6 GB per second or SATA 3. So I would have liked if they had all of them at SATA 6. That would have been better. Another thing I would have liked on here was for an SSD, either mSATA slot or uh, so either an mSATA slot. Ugh, slot. But anyway, an mSATA slot or a M.2 slot would have been better to put the operating system on, so that way you have the SATA ports free for your storage drives. So there's another drawback of this board. Another thing that's missing, there's no onboard. I guess that's common with all the Aviton series. It's kind of disappointing. They don't have USB 3.0, and and the back IO and or onboard headers for the front headers for USB 3.0. USB 3.0 is very, very essential these days, especially because everything, all the external storage devices and stuff like that, they're USB 3.0 because USB 3.0 is very, very fast. So there's another drawback of this board. Another drawback of this board is the PCI Express light. Well, it's not really the board. It's just the chipset in the Intel Atom CPU doesn't support full x16 slots. So if somehow they would have installed an x16 slot would have been better in case if you're using it as a workstation. Then the full size x16 slot would have been better for a graphics card or something like that, or whatever you like to install in here. I would have liked USB 3.0 in the back. Like I said, if you need to expand, because most Mini-ITX cases will not support this many drives, so I mean you can't take advantage of all the SATA ports on most Mini-ITX board. The max I've seen that most cases will support. Pick that up. So most cases will support up to 8, 6, 8, 7 is the max on Mini-ITX that I've seen. There are some server cases that will support up to 8, 3.5, and then a couple of 4 2.5 inch. I have that case. It's the Silverstone's DS380B, which I'm using with this board. I lost my train of thought, but anyway, so USB 3.0 would have been better if they had it on here, because the way I have my stuff set up is because I'm very paranoid when it comes to data. I don't want to lose it. I've lost it before, and data recovery is very expensive and very much time consuming. So if you do it yourself, it's very, very time consuming, and if you bring it to people like us, it's very expensive. Uh, so uh, so the way I like to do is I like to have my important, crucial data, home videos, pictures of the kids and stuff like that. I like to have them, instead of you know one copy in one place. I like to have multiple copies of the same data in multiple locations, so that way if one goes down, I still have a backup copy of my important data that cannot be replaced. Um, so the way I have mine set up, I have external storage devices, USB 3.0 and eSATA. They support both. So I'll have 4 or 5 drives in a RAID array, um, and pretty much I plug in to my server, back up my stuff, take it to a vault somewhere, and put it there. Another thing I do is I have a server here at my office, and then I have a server at home that normally they back each other up. So there's another added layer of protection, and then an offsite data backup, like trash plan or something like that. Uh, so in order for me to back up tons and tons of data, USB 2.0 is very, very slow. Um, and I've noticed some USB 3.0 drives, not all of them, but most of them are compatible backwards, but some of them not. So you can run into that issue where you can't back up your data. Um, if you back up, for example, sometimes I'll have, on my computer, I'll shoot a video. It will be on my computer, and instead of backing it up over the network, because it takes a long time. Gigabit is not that fast, and then this only has 2 gigabit ports. So if I had 4 or 5 or 6, or if I had 10 gig, then that would have been a different story. Then I didn't have to do the USB external drive backups. But sometimes what I would like to do is take my data, like for example, if I have it on my laptop or something, I'll put it on an external drive. The data will be on the videos or whatever, it will be on an external drive, and I'll take that, plug it into the server, and drag and drop everything. Uh, with this, you can't really do that. I mean, you can, but it will be very, very slow, very, very time consuming. Especially with 4K, when 4K cameras gets cheaper. Right now, 1080p takes a whole lot of space, and it takes a lot of time, transferring between computers or between drive and computer. So USB 3.0 or eSATA would have been much, much better, but they don't have it on here. Nevertheless, the board is an excellent board. It's a kick-ass board, tons of features in a small form factor. So definitely, definitely, definitely a plus. Now, if my 2 cents, uh, if you're using, these boards were intended for Windows Server 2012 Essentials. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. The board does not support any sort of RAID 5 or anything like that. The only thing that it supports is RAID 0 and RAID 1. So if you're worried about either performance or security, RAID 0 doesn't give you that much security, and only a few of the ports support even that. So not all of the ports supports RAID. So because they're intended for Windows Server 2012 Essentials, which has Windows storage spaces, which is a software RAID type of setup. So normally you won't need, if you're going that route, you will really need a RAID controller. But for myself, I like to have a dedicated RAID controller because it gives you more performance as far as your day-to-day data transfers go. Reading and writing to the drives, and also as far as data security goes, RAID 5